Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to model a cave-in, something where when the player goes from one room into another room, it prints out, the tunnel behind you collapses and now you can't go back the way you were. This is a way of driving players forward in your story. Let's just take a look at what I've got set up here. I just have a very simple project. I have an east-west tunnel and I have a tunnel junction, and I don't even have a description on it. That's okay, they're both lit. And notice I can go from the tunnel junction, I can go from the east-west tunnel, I can go east to the tunnel junction. But from the tunnel junction, I can't go west back to where I was. Notice that this is a one-way connection. So now what we want to do is make a function that we're going to call after the player goes east. So after the player goes east, we're going to check to see where's the player now. If they're in the tunnel junction, we'll print out the message that says the tunnel collapses behind you. So let's make a function called, I don't know, after east or something. So after we go east, then we'll say if the player's holder, which means the player is in the tunnel junction, and notice I have to have the underscores because when you refer to an object in the code, you have to use the ID name, and that's the one that's got the underscores in it. Print line, crash, just that was how they kind of used to do it for effect with the asterisks. And then let's print the shaft collapses behind you. And that's actually all we need to do. And now let's wire this up to a sentence. And what we'll say is, after we go east, call that code. So we have a go east function there, and we'll call our after east function. And we don't want to leave this at instead, we want to do this after. So after we go east, we want to check to see where the player is now and if we need to print that message. And then add it. So after we go east, call the after east function. Alright, so now let's test this out. There's an east-west mine shaft. If I go east, now we're in the tunnel junction, crash, the shaft collapses behind you. And then notice I can't go west. Now, you can't go that way is a little bit non-descriptive, but there's a button down here, customize you can't go that way. It might be called change no-go messages or something if you have an older version, but you just want to click on this button here. And now what you can do is you can add your own descriptions that replace you can't go that way, because you can't go that way is kind of vague. Let's say the cave-in has rendered that direction impassable. Impassable? Oh God, don't know how to spell it. Impassable. All right, I'm going to assume it's with an A. I would spell check that though. Now let's save this. And now let's run it again. If I go east, crash, the tunnel collapses behind you. Now when I try to go west, the cave-in has rendered that direction impassable, right? So that's a lot more descriptive than you can't go that way. It tells the player what's going on. So there you go. That's how to model a cave-in. All you need is a function to check the new location and print out the message. And then you may just want, and call that function after the player goes. After, make that an after sentence. So in addition to doing the regular movement, you'll now do this in addition to it. So there you go. And don't forget to override those you can't go that way messages. Those make the game a lot more kind of descriptive and help the player build that mental map of where they are, why they can't go, where they can't go. All right, but if you have any questions on how to get that to work, just ask.